Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Zabrowski. I'm your sponsor for Instant Payday for some of you Empower Network, and I just want to do a quick, try to do this quick little encouragement session. It's called Don't Listen. And I want to preface by saying that I know I'm not here to insult your intelligence, all right? I know that many of you already know some of the things that I share in these little broadcasts, but it never hurts to be reminded, okay? It doesn't matter how great you are. We can never be encouraged enough, okay? And so, and also, there's a lot of times in life, we can know something in our minds, but as to whether we do it is a completely different story. And when we step from that place of knowing something and actually doing it, that's when change occurs. So this is called Don't Listen. And the reason I call it Don't Listen is because, oftentimes, obviously in life, we have to listen. Like if we're involved in a program like Instant Payday or Empower, we have to listen to the instructions and we have to implement it. But there are other times in life where it's very important where we do not listen in order to be successful. Well, let me give you an example of that. Just as an overview, oftentimes in life we'll be going towards something that we know in our heart that we have to do, but there will be negative influences around us telling us that we can't do it, or we shouldn't do it, or they'll be trying to convince us one way or the other so that we don't reach what it is that we are seeking to reach, even though we know in our hearts we're supposed to reach it. So it is that at those times in life that we should not listen. Do not listen. Okay, it's extremely important. Now I'm going to share a quick story with you. I used to be a starving actor in Hollywood. All right, I worked in the entertainment business, and for many years I was just a starving actor trying to make it. And I had a college degree at the time, and I ended up getting a job working at a four-star hotel called Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. And I was a valet parker, okay, with my college degree. And I was really given my entire life. During the day I would work on my career, go to auditions and everything, and then in the evening I'd go to my job, and I'd work till 1 o'clock in the morning. and so after a while I just thought to myself, I've given up so much to be here. I'm from Michigan, and I was out there in the West. And I'm giving my heart and soul to be here, and I decided, I'm not going to do this job anymore, because I knew in my heart that I came out there to be a success in the thing that I came out there to do, which was to be an actor, to make it in the entertainment business. So I decided one day I'm just going to walk off the job. I'm done doing this. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to finish what I started. So I walked off the job, and I didn't have a whole lot of money in my bank account. And, weeks and months went by, and I would occasionally get a job here and there, maybe in a commercial or some other kind of video type job, and it would pay my bills. And I got to the point where my bank account was dwindling, and I was honestly living on bread and honey, okay? That's all I would eat. And so I got to the place where, okay, it was right near the end of the year, and I decided I'm going to get a job working for Kevin Costner. At the time, Kevin Costner was like the new budding star in Hollywood. He had just done the movie Dances with Wolves, or he was doing it at the time. And so I decided I'm going to get a job working for Kevin Costner. In fact, he was kind of instrumental in me going out to Hollywood. So I decided that I wrote on a piece of paper, I have a job working for Kevin Costner at TIG Productions. That was the name of his company at the time. And so I took that piece of paper and I taped it to the wall next to my bed, and so I saw it every morning, every night before I went to bed. And every night before I went to bed, I would say to myself, great things are happening in my life. Great things are happening to my life. And I would just go to bed saying that, and I'd fall asleep saying that. And so I called over to Kevin Costner's company, TIG Productions, and I asked them if there were any job openings, and they said, "I'm sorry, there's no job openings." And I said, "Well, do you know, are there going to be in the future?" And they said, "Well, we don't really know." And I said to the lady on the phone, "Well, I'm the kind of guy, I'll call you every day if that's what's required." She said, "You definitely don't want to do that. That will, lessen your chances of getting a job." She said, "Why don't you call back in a couple of weeks or so?" So I called back in a couple of weeks. She said, "There's nothing." And she said, "You can call back in a week or so." So I called back in a week. And she said, we need a guy at the office here, an intern. And she said, why don't you come in for an interview? So she set up an interview. I couldn't believe that. It was just huge, okay? Set up an interview with me. Now, I was an actor, and typically the people that would get these types of jobs were film students from USC and UCLA, not actors, okay? So I went into the interview, and it happened to be I'm not going to give any names here, but it happened to be one of Kevin's best friends. He worked at the company, and he was also an actor. So he immediately took a liking to me. So I had favor, okay? Now, I went into the interview like a moron. I didn't even have a resume. I mean, you talk about a moron. So I didn't have a resume, but he liked me enough to where he said, we'll just create a resume for you. That's all right. I actually got the job working at TIG Productions on the Warner Brothers lot for Kevin Costner, who was at the time the biggest star in Hollywood. Okay, so I go in there, and my first day I was hired. It was the day that they were nominated for 12 Academy Awards for the movie Dances with Wolves. It was just like a dream come true. I couldn't even believe it. At the time, I had about $100 in my bank account. They hired me as an intern. Okay, and so that meant they were going to just hire me for a couple of months, and they weren't going to pay me, so all I had was $100 in my bank account, and I didn't even think about the fact that I had $100. How was I going to eat? I wasn't even thinking. I was so excited that I got a job working for the biggest star in Hollywood, and I didn't even think about it. So after the first month, Kevin Costner took a liking to me, I guess. He put me on the payroll. He gave me a $1,000 bonus and put me on the payroll, and the rest was history. But that all started with me not listening. At the time, before all this started, all of my friends, I felt like, we weren't in agreement. Even my family, for me to even go out west in the entertainment business, my family didn't want me to do that. They thought that was too risky. But I did it anyways because I followed what was in my heart. And so I felt like at the time before I even started this whole journey and trying to get a job working for him, I felt like nobody was really on my side. And I felt like I could not listen. I couldn't listen to their negative influences. So I focused on what I knew in my heart, and I just went forward, and I stopped listening to the people around me. I put on my blinders, and I decided this is what I'm going to do, and I don't care what anyone says, and I'm going to do it. And it was that attitude, and not just that attitude, but that belief that brought me the success that I had. And so I say to you, please do not listen to the negative influences in your life, you guys. Sometimes some of the most negative people in our lives can be the people who are closest to us, the people we love the most. I love my family, but there's times when you can't listen to your family. And I'm not saying that for you to be rebellious or anything. I'm just saying it. When you know that you've got to do something in your heart, you just got to do it. And it doesn't matter what's in your way, you've got to do it. Okay? That's all. So don't listen. Listen to the right things, but don't listen to the negative influences. And they're all around us. So that is it for now. I hope this blesses you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.